Trust Michelle.
Recording in progress.
Hey guys. Like I see some people on here so far. We're a little early.
Sorry, I'm
All
trying to
being
stay
credible.
muted. I have 3 kids banging on stuff.
Oh, okay. Who is that?
Me, Cheyenne, I'm new.
What'd you say?
My name is Cheyenne.
Okay. I don't know.
There's some personal reasons why I have my name off of stuff.
Oh, that's okay.
Stop.
We're gonna be in for a treat tonight. I need to figure out how to change mine from iPhone to I need to see how to change that, rename it. Okay, there it is right there. Let me rename this. I never thought to do this. There it is. Okay, I renamed it. I'm so special. I don't know how to do everything. I hope you guys are doing okay. Send the message out to your team members, guys, so they can join the call. Hope everybody can be on here tonight. So as you come in, guys, make sure you're muting your phones but you can say hi. You can unmute to say hello.
Hello.
Hello. So make sure you guys send a message out to your teams to get them to join us tonight because this call is going to be fire. Fire, 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 guys. If you guys are ready to hear some amazing tips, get ready. Take your notes, get your notebooks out so you can take some notes. I'm trying to let me see if I can send out another message to everybody. Do a tag here. It wouldn't let me do it from the computer for some reason. Weird. If you guys can tag everybody. So as you guys are coming on, make sure you mute your phones unless you're saying hi for now. Make sure you mute your phones. See if I can get back on here. I just sent a message out to some of you guys in the chat. So see who else I can tag. Well, we know it's 8 o'clock because I hear that grandfather clock of mine chiming in the background. Okay, guys, we want to make sure that we are respecting everybody's time. We have an amazing guest speaker with us tonight. And I had I had it all pulled up here. I don't want to leave anything out. So let me tell you a little bit about what I know personally about Karen. So back in 2012, this was in Las Vegas. What's going on? Back in 2012 in Las Vegas, this was the time that I earned annual sales and annual mentor at the same time. And I remember Cincy calling us, asking us to be a part of some project. And, you know, I had been in the business not that long, really. And okay, I felt honored that I got this call. So I went like a day or two early to participate in some project that they told us about. So we got up on the stage and I had a chance to meet Karen. along with some other amazing consultants. And we had no idea why we were there early. So they were telling us that we were going to be in this project. And this is at the time that Cincy launched this other partnership, that other brand that we had. And we had a chance to model these things. So while we're on the stage, Cincy made this huge announcement. And this announcement was to let everybody know in the Cincy world that we were Shining Star finalists. So I was actually a Shining Star finalist in 2012. Like, what in the world? I was kind of new, like I didn't know what that was. But at that time, Karen Fettis was our Shining Star in 2012. That's when I first met her, and she was so amazing and made me feel welcome. Because I didn't know anybody. I didn't, as you guys know me now, I didn't know, I was a nobody back then. I didn't nobody know me. So, but Karen made me feel so welcome. She welcomed me to her group. And it's just, I mean, she is so amazing. And I followed her for years. I mean, I just about know her family, even though I haven't met them, because she's gone through some things with her son. Because at the same time, my son had several brain surgeries and her son was going through stuff. So we had that in common. But Karen is a mom of 3. She's a Marine's wife, retired, Shining Star, annual mentor earner, annual sales earner, countless monthly awards, top incentive earner in the founding circle. So she's got so much going on. She's such an amazing person. And so she was on a call last Thursday sharing some things that I didn't know about. And I thought, oh, let me reach out. Let me reach out to Karen to see if she could be our guest speaker on our Tuesday connection call. She's the first time she is our very first guest. We have never had a guest. So I'm so excited to introduce our guest speaker and to see if she's here. Karen, are you here?
I am.
Hey.
Hello.
So Karen, you can have the floor at this point, and we can make sure you mute your phones, guys. Get ready, take your notes. She's amazing.
I feel like you just set the bar really high.
Because that's you, girl.
Hey everybody. Thanks for having me. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for showing up to work your business, you guys, because not everyone shows up, and training is really important. And those who show up, go up. We know that, right? So thanks for taking the time to show up. I will try and be respectful with your time tonight. I did take some notes. I have them on the computer, and I also have a hard copy because I don't trust technology. And sometimes it, So anyways, you are going to see me referring to my notes a few times because I want to make sure I don't miss anything out. But first, I did want to tell you a little bit about myself. So we're going to speed date for a minute, shall we? See, and then we'll see if we're compatible at the end. Okay. So I'm a superstar director. I live in Colorado now, primarily. A little bit of time in South Carolina, but really I live in Colorado most of the time. I love it here. I absolutely love it. We moved here for a whole bunch of reasons about 18 months ago, but mostly because the altitude's actually good for my son's health. It's very strange, but he's thriving here in a lot of ways he didn't before. My life is crazy. I know. Raise your hand if you have a crazy life. Like anyone else? Okay. Yeah, we're all on the same page, right? My life is crazy, chaotic, amazing, like all of yours. I am a mom of 3, like DPP said, and my youngest has some pretty significant health injuries, like she also mentioned. So he's had 17 brain surgeries since 2015. We've been married for 29 years. My husband is combat injured. And so I guess you could say I'm a caregiver, although I'm not sure I would use that term, but he works full time with me and has since he retired in 2012 from the military. We've moved a bunch of times in our business. We've moved cross country 5 different times in our business. So I know what it's like to start over and build a new customer base and all the things. And so we've had a lot of transition, but the most important things, you guys, I like coffee, tacos, warm, cozy blankets. I love to travel. And what else? Oh, I love plants. I love, love, love fresh flowers and plants. They're like they're my thing. So now that we've speed dated, if you haven't left yet, we can probably move on, but that's a little bit about me. All right. So I want to talk to you tonight about I want to talk to you about a couple things. I want to talk to you about mindset, and I want to talk
Oh,
to you.
excuse me, Karen, somebody's
Yeah.
not, somebody's unmuted. I'm trying to get their attention to mute. Tima, can you please mute your phone, sweetheart? Tima, can you please mute your phone? I think it's Tima that's unmuted. Can you hit the mute button at the bottom in the left-hand corner down below? It's a microphone. Can you hit that mute?
It's very important that we get the younger
Tima?
generations to understand the history of our country.
Hello?
And,
Can you mute your phone? Can you hit the microphone below?
we're trying to save the history of our town.
Tima, can you hear?
I think that's really important because, you know,
I don't know
Hello?
if she's trying to do it or not.
you know, national
We're
history, but
talking
not
to
so
you.
much the
Yeah.
community system.
Yes, can you mute? Can you please mute?
People that
Or can you go out and come back in?
Collectors aren't just passionate about the things that
Can
they
you go
own.
out and come back in? I see you're trying to have, you're having
There we
some
go.
difficulties. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You did. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. So hold on. Let me pull this back up a little bit. Okay. So I want to talk to you about sponsoring. I want to talk to you about mindset, and I want to talk to you about how changing my mindset has made all the difference in sponsoring. So humor me and bear with me. I want to set a little bit of the stage for you. So give me just a couple minutes, but stay with me. So like DPP said, I've been a consultant almost 15 years. So next month will be 15 years. And there have been many years that I've been a top recruiter. There have been some years where I was an average but consistent recruiter. And then there have been a couple years where I wasn't really a good recruiter. My business, like yours, has probably been through some ups and downs. Have you guys, do you feel like your businesses have been up and down? Anyone? You just raise your hand. Yep. Okay. So that's pretty normal, right? So that happens in every business, not just Scentsy businesses. That happens in life. It happens in the stock market, happens in real estate, like happens in every aspect of life, right? We go up, we go down, we kind of normalize, we go back up, we go down. That's just normal. So, but the last couple of years, we have been in a really hard season. Like we already established, a lot of you guys have too. Coming, like my son's had 17 brain surgeries, like I said. My husband had a major heart attack in September of 2021 before he turned 50. And he was the healthier of the two of us. So he went to the gym every day. And we've lost 3 parents in 21 months, which is a lot. And they didn't live local to us. So 3 out of our 4 parents have passed, which makes me kind of question my genetics, because my grandparents all lived into like their 90s. And my parents lived into our parents lived into like their early 80s and late 70s. So I'm like, I'm not sure what happened there, but it's been a lot. Like most of the past 2 years almost, I have not lived in my own home. Well, also we moved in that time frame. We moved from South Carolina kind of to Colorado, kind of. And so, but a lot of the time I've spent actually in Illinois helping when my dad was ill, and then helping my mom sell her house, go through 40 years almost of things. And then when Steve's parents passed away, helping settle estates and all that stuff. So I have a lot of excuses why my sponsoring could not have been so great, especially the past 2 years. Lots of excuses. Like it would be totally understandable to understand why maybe my business was in a season. But and my sales were still really great, by the way, because I have amazing customers. But I'm not an excuse maker, and I don't accept excuses from my kids, and I don't accept them for myself. So the last few years, my sponsoring wasn't great compared to how I normally sponsor. Just to give you a little perspective, and as I said, there were years I was a top sponsor, a recruiter. In 2021, I sponsored 11 new frontline. Now, that's not a horrible number. That's almost 1 a month. That's relatively consistent. It's not what I'm used to, and then in 2022, I sponsored 1 new person. In 12 months, I, as a top superstar director in this company, who's always been paid a title, we have been so blessed by this business, you guys. Let me just insert the income disclosure statement here. Like this business has blessed our family. We have time freedom, location freedom. We have financial freedom. Like this business has been beyond amazing for our family. I can't even tell you all the things it's done for us. But in 2022, I sponsored 1 person. And for me, that was, whoa, what is going on? That's not okay for me, right? Thankfully, I still earned the incentive trip because I've earned every incentive trip because I had some really great frontline promotion points. But so why am I talking about sponsoring? If I sponsored one person last year, why am I talking to you guys about sponsoring? Well, I promise I've had a little change of heart. I've changed my mindset and things have turned around. And when I say turned around, 2022, I sponsored one person. I'm gonna kind of walk you through my mindset shift, but from the middle of February until now, I've sponsored 93 people. So one person in 2022 and 93 people the past 8 months. So personally sponsored. That's a huge mindset shift. That's a huge change in my business. So I'm really good. One of my strengths, and I think we all should acknowledge and know what we're good at in this business. And one of mine has always been treating this business like a business and looking at it like a business. And so every 6 months for many years, I've kind of done an assessment of my business. I've got a 2-page sheet, lots of different categories, and I'm like PRV, sponsoring, team connection, frontline connection, all these different categories, what's going well and what's not. And for the past couple years, every time I looked at that sponsoring category, it kind of got a thumbs down at what things were not going the right direction. In fact, if I were to list, I talked at the summit, at Superstar Director Summit about this. If I were to list the 5 most important things in my business last January, sponsoring would not have even been on that list. And I know better. I'm a top leader. I remember years ago at Superstar Director Summit, Mary Christensen said, and I'm going to paraphrase it, but she basically said, the minute you stop recruiting, the minute you stop sponsoring, you watch your business slowly start to decline backwards. Okay. And that's significant. And I knew that, but every time I did this assessment, my sponsoring numbers were kind of in the gutter. It wasn't going the right direction. So mid-February, I was like, okay, Karen, enough's enough. Like nothing changes if nothing changes. And you are the only one responsible for your sponsoring. If it isn't a priority, you're not going to do it. And it wasn't a priority for me. So I had a mindset shift. Have any of you guys heard the song, I'm the problem, it's me? You guys know that song? Like you know what I'm talking about? Okay. Well, I was the problem. Hands down, I was the problem with my sponsoring. Nothing grows if you don't water it, if you don't plant seeds, if you don't do any of those things. And I wasn't doing any of them. So I decided mid-February it was time for a change. I took a good look and I decided I'm the problem. Why am I the problem? Well, sponsoring wasn't a priority to me. I wasn't talking about it. I wasn't meeting new people. I wasn't having conversations. And as I said, even on the top 5 list of the most important things in my business to me at that point, sponsoring probably wasn't even on it. And I knew better. Like I hands down knew better. So tonight you're just going to get raw and real from me because I truly believe that the only way we change in this business is by honest assessment, acknowledging a problem, and finding a solution. And if you can do those things and treat your business as a business and not get wrapped up in the, oh, poor me, I'm horrible at this, this isn't going well. Like you have to be willing to make a change. Okay. And nothing changes if nothing changes, right? So I decided I was a problem and I decided my mindset mattered and only I could change it. And so I did. So let me just give you one more disclaimer. No matter where you are in your business right now, you have the ability to change it. So if you've never sponsored anyone and you have no one on your team, you're a team of one, that's okay. You can make a decision today that you want to grow a team. If you feel like you're in a slump, if you feel like your business hasn't been a priority, whatever the situation is, you have the ability to change it. Nobody else can change it for you. Now, you might have to step outside your comfort zone. You might have to get uncomfortable. You might have to meet new people. You might have to start talking to people. There's a lot of things you might have to do, but it starts with you acknowledging that something isn't working and you need to change it. So your mindset matters. You get what you focus on. That's the reality. So I always tell my kids, they hate it when I say this, you can't get upset about the results you don't get for the work you don't do. So I'm going to say it again. You can't get upset about the results you don't get for the work you don't do. Like, does anyone else have kids? Like my kids are a little bit older. They were, oh gosh, how old were they? 11, 7, and 3. No, they were younger than that when I started. They were babies. Like my youngest was a baby when I started Scentsy. He just turned 18 last weekend. And so I'll be 50. So he was not quite, so he was 3 when I started. So my kids were 3, 7, and 11, I guess, when I started Scentsy. And they hate it when I say that, but it's a reality. Like you can't get upset about the results you don't get for the work you don't do. And I feel like some of our kids generationally at this point, like, don't want to put the work in, right? And I've got great kids. My oldest is an aerospace engineer. My middle is working on her master's. But I always tell them that I'm like, listen, nothing is handed to you. Like, there's no participation trophy. Like, if you want this, you have to work for it. And the reality is, I wasn't working for it. Like, thankfully, because I have this amazing organization and my customers were incredible, I wasn't seeing a negative fallout from my lack of sponsoring. But if I hadn't changed things, I would have. Hands down, I would have. And it's really important to me that I lead from the front. And that's one area that I simply wasn't. So how am I credible to teach my team and my organization how to sponsor people if I'm not actively doing it? So I had to take a change. So since I changed my mindset, as I said, I've sponsored 93 people since the middle of February. 1 person in 2022, 93 in 2023, 30 last month, 29 the month before that. So what did I do? I changed my mindset. Like I said, the first thing I did, there are some other tangible things, but I may lose some of you with the mindset one. So I understand it is October, so this might sound a little hocus pocusy, and some of you, selling you on mindset and affirmation is harder than others, but I can tell you I've seen the change in it myself. What we feed ourselves is what we become. Affirmations are super, super powerful. And I changed the way I talk to myself. So instead of in the back of my head saying things like sponsoring's not important, whatever, I'm a top leader, I do these other things. I tell myself a whole bunch of things every morning. I remind myself, so it's going to sound hokey, you guys, I know it, but I go to my mirror in the bathroom and I tell myself a few things every day. I tell myself out loud that people want to join under me. I tell myself that we have an awesome business model and there's no reason someone wouldn't want to join. Like, what you feed yourself really makes a difference. When I say feed yourself, I mean the mental feeding yourself. Now, let me give you a little caveat. If you aren't happy in your business, if there's an area of your business you're frustrated in, it can be something as simple as my customers aren't buying, my downline isn't doing anything. It could be like, I'm ticked off at Scentsy that shipping is slow. If there's an area of your business that you are frustrated with right now or unhappy with, you don't even have to tell your customers. You don't have to tell your neighbors, your friends, your family. Like, people sense it and they know. So if you are not happy with your business right now, that's the first fundamental thing you've got to get to the bottom of, and you've got to shift that. You've got to change that. If you aren't happy, you have to figure out why, and you have to figure out how to change it. And you guys, you have a great support. I mean, I know DPP, you guys have a great support network. You have people that will help you shift your mindset. And if you are still struggling with that, then find me on Instagram. I'm at Karen Fettis. Find me on Facebook and send me a message. You will always get straight talk from me. I am a Enneagram 8. Sorry in advance. I am a type A personality. Like, I will never intentionally hurt your feelings, but I will always tell you the truth and what I think. But I will set you straight if you can't figure out a way to change your mindset. I'll help you, because I know that before you do anything else, that's the most important thing. The reality is there are no limits in this business, and I don't think people truly understand that. Are we recording this, DPP? Do I need to literally put the income disclosure statement? Okay.
Oh yeah, we're recording.
Okay. Let me income disclosure statement this. Like, I've made a lot of money in this business over the years. Insert income disclosure statement. There is a lot of potential in this business. Only you can decide what you want and what you're willing to do. Okay. But it does start with your mindset. That's just the reality. Like, DPP had a huge shift in, she decided she was going to put the work in a few months back, right? Like, you decided, like, I'm not content with what my commissions are, and I'm going to put the work in to shift that. So if that's where you are right now, it is within your control. It's not necessarily easy and it's not fast, but you have the ability to change that. Nobody else can. So that's number one. So I changed my mindset. I changed how I talk to myself. Really, really important. Okay. Then I decided sponsoring was a priority, because if you don't share it and you don't talk about it, nobody's going to join. I started talking about why people would want to join again. I started listening to people. Okay, again. Now, I don't know about any of you, but I got really comfortable in my COVID bubble. That's what I call it, my COVID bubble. I got really comfortable. I didn't have to leave the house. Man, I can have Instacart can deliver me groceries. I mean, they can even, like, Petco even delivers things to me. Target delivers. I could even pick up if I wanted. I didn't have to go in and talk to people. I could get groceries delivered. I could get food delivered to my door. I mean, if there was a drone that could come drop something off, that would have been good for me, because why would I have to leave my home and have real people conversations? It just got really comfortable. And I'm not really, I think I'm a extroverted introvert, maybe. Like I can be really content, right, in my home. So I stopped meeting people. I'd stopped having conversation. I'd stopped talking to people, and I was comfortable with it. So I started listening to people. I started putting myself in situations where I could talk to people. And when I say I started listening to people, I started listening again. I used to be really good at this years ago, to how this business could benefit people. I started listening to people when they talked. Oh, this is how this business could be good for them. Because reality is, I don't want people to join because it's good for me. Because if I don't want to arm twist anyone to joining. Because if I have to convince you to join, you're going to do nothing in this business, right? Nothing. I'm going to drag you to water and you're not going to drink it. But I do think that there are so many people that can be blessed by this business. And so, but you have to get good at listening to people. So I had to start listening to people again, paying attention to what their needs were. And one way that I do this is I spend some time, a couple times a day, scrolling my Facebook social media feed, and my Instagram too. Now, I would tell people to be really, anyone else feel they ever get sucked into social media? Like you get on to do something and then it's been like an hour and you're still like sucked in. Okay. So I tell people to be really careful how you use your time on social media. But I do think that it's important to pay attention from people to people, because a lot of relationship building happens there. So I pay attention now. I've gone back to, oh, Crystal's daughter was just made a competitive gymnastic team. That's awesome. They might need a fundraiser, or maybe she wants to join because that's expensive. Oh, so-and-so's spouse lost their job. Oh, now I'm not going to message them, say, hey girl, I saw your spouse lost their job. You should totally join for night. No, I'm going to relationship build, whatever. But I've started paying attention, and I want to always think about how this business can benefit someone else. So I've gone back to paying attention to people. I also took a really good look at my customer base. Now, I've always had really great customers. We have moved a number of times in this business. Like I said, we moved from, when I joined, we lived in North Carolina. Then my husband was active duty military. So we moved from North Carolina to California. He retired. We moved back to North Carolina, or to South Carolina. Then we moved to Texas to be closer to my son's neurosurgeon. Then we moved back to South Carolina. And now we're pretty much in Colorado. So I have some really great customers, and customers that have bought from me for almost 15 years and have stuck with me. But I also knew that I needed to grow a local customer base here. And I've been really lucky. I've had some great Scentsy.com orders, but I knew that I needed more than that. And the only way I could do that was get out and meet people locally. So I needed to get out and meet new people. So how was I going to do that? Well, the ways that I did it may not work for you, but I'm just going to give you a few ideas, because you can only ask your customers to buy so many times from you, right? You can only ask them to host so many times from you. You can only ask them to join so many times. And we always have to be adding to our customer base. Like Debbie is so good at events, right? And there was a season I did some really large events, but then my life got a little crazy and it wasn't as easy for me. So I decided I had to go back to meeting people. So here's some of the ways that I decided I was going to meet people locally. Again, you're going to have to like take these ideas and figure out how they would work for you. But these are some of the things I did. I decided I was going to join some groups locally. Like, I was really comfortable in my COVID bubble, but I decided I was going to get out and meet people, because that's where the magic happens, right? When we actually have conversations and meet people. Also, it's good for you. It's good for you to meet new people and to get out of your home and to do social things, right? It's really easy, especially for someone who has anxiety, to not want to do that, but it's good for you. So I joined my sorority has a local alumni group. So I joined it, the Denver branch of my local sorority. They do some social things. They do some philanthropy. Great way to meet some new people, right? We have something in common. I love plants. Okay, so a couple ways that I decided I was gonna meet new plant lovers. Sounds kind of hokey, I know, but we have a couple local plant shops. They offer classes. They do propagation. They do making terrariums. They do plant swaps where you bring a healthy plant and you leave with some other plant. They do all sorts of things. Great way to meet people. They're both local small businesses, which I love to support. And so now I walk in and they know me by name, because maybe I spend a lot of money in them too. But I also found a group online, a local group online of people that love plants. Okay, sounds kind of hokey if you aren't a plant lover, but if you love plants, it's a great place to meet like-minded people. I love coffee. Like, I love local coffee shops. Now, I mean, I'll spend my money in Starbucks or Ziggy's or Pete's or Dutch Bros or wherever, but I love to find local coffee shops. And so we have a lot of them locally that are really great, and they're small business owners. So like, I like to go and work, even if it's just for a couple of hours, at a local coffee shop where I'm surrounded by like-minded people. And when I'm doing my Scentsy work, I'm not standing there going, oh, you should buy Scentsy from me. Oh, please buy. But conversation happens over time when you're in the same place and you meet similar people who also love coffee. Oh, what are you working on? This is what I'm working on. I love to read. So and I do a book club for my group. So I found a Boss Babes book club that was local. Now, ironically, they, a lot of the books we've read it's been kind of funny, and a couple are interested in joining because of it. But a lot of the books we read in the group, one a month, we've actually had those speakers speak at SFR, because, you know, Scentsy has amazing speakers at SFR. So like James Clear and just all sorts of people, Seth Godin, like all these people I've been like, oh yeah, they spoke at our annual convention. What? So just like a little caveat when you're thinking about why people want to join Scentsy, people don't always join for the money, right? Some people join for the community. Some people join because they want to travel. Some people do join for the money, right? But like, I've got women who want to join because they're excited and eager that we have these kind of high-level speakers. Like, we always have incredible professional development at SFR, always, right? So the lady last summer maybe talked about candles a little too much, but her message was super great, right? So I joined a Boss Babe book club, and it's a local book club for business owners who are entrepreneurs who love to read as well. So my husband's combat injured. So we joined some of the local wounded warrior groups. Great way to meet people, right? Like-minded people, normal, you know, we have things in common. And I also got involved in volunteering. So now you might not care about plants. You might not, you know, care about a Boss Babes book club. It's a little cheesy, the name, I know, but there are things that you're passionate about. There's things that you care about. And so you figuring out what you're passionate about and how you can connect and meet people is really pivotal to the growth of your business. Okay. And I'm not showing up to these things. Like I said, sometimes I'm branded with Scentsy stuff, but I am building real relationships. And over time, these relationships, organically, the conversation of what do you do? Tell me about Scentsy. I saw you on Instagram, whatever the case may be. People ask questions. People are curious. Girl, how do you travel so much? Oh, Scentsy. The conversation comes up and it's organic. That's what you want, right? I also upped my social strategy. You guys, I am a social media dinosaur. Like a dinosaur. I got consistent with my Facebook business page. And by consistent, I mean a year ago, maybe 15 months ago, I posted just a couple times on it. And I am not nearly as good as Debbie is. She is great at this. She's consistent. She is on there all the time. She goes live. She does all the things. I'm still a work in progress. But because I went from being completely inconsistent and almost non-existent social dinosaur to some consistency, my algorithm is so much better. My analytics are so good right now on social media. So if anyone else feel like they suck on social media, I don't know how else to say it. There's no nice way to say it, right? But like I owned it, right? So you have a starting point, and it's actually maybe a good thing that you haven't been consistent or great at it, because you have a great starting point. And all it takes is one post today, a post tomorrow, a post the next day. It's a starting point, right? You can't look back and you can't be upset about the things you didn't accomplish. Years ago at SFR, we had a speaker who she talked about, she was rowing, she was in a race, and she said she kept looking behind her. And the person in the boat behind her said, stop turning around. Like, winning is that way. So wherever you are now, stop looking in the rearview mirror. Stop beating yourself up for the things you aren't doing or the things you aren't doing well, and make a decision today that you're just going to move forward, because that's all it takes. Just one step at a time, baby steps, consistently over time, make a huge difference. If you decide today, if your social media isn't great, and you decide today you're going to come up with this elaborate strategy, and you're going to post 4 reels a day, and you're going to do this, and you're going to be in your stories 24 times a day, and you're not doing any of that now, you're not going to do it. You're going to do it for like 2 days and you're going to quit. So start where you are, set some basic plans, something that you can consistently do, and then move forward. And when you get good at that, go a little more. And when you get good at that, up it a little more. It's just consistency over time. So, but it's interesting though, because my social media was so bad. I now, I get people that message me about joining all the time. It's fantastic. Okay. So, and I 100% shifted my focus on sponsoring. So I still want to sell and host. Don't get me wrong. I still want people to host parties, and I still want new customers, because that's really critical to our business. But now, anytime someone asks me about Scentsy, I immediately flip the switch in my mind to a sponsoring conversation. Here's the thing. People can buy, they can host, and they can join. Those are the 3 options, really, right? If we start every conversation with them buying and they say no, there's nowhere to go. If they say they're not interested in the product, you can't say, oh, would you want to host? They don't want to host. They don't want to buy. Do you want to sell? No, they don't want to sell. They don't even want to buy. But if you start with sponsoring, oh gosh, have you ever thought about doing this? I think you'd be great at it. Let me tell you why. They say, no, I don't think I want to do that. Okay, you might not be ready for that. That's fine. But do you want to host a party? I mean, you might as well get your Scentsy free and half price. Oh, yeah, I could probably do that. Or if they say no, okay, that's fine. I'm happy to take your money. If you're not ready to join yet, you can keep buying from me, but let me show you what we've got that just came out. It's really hard to continue the conversation if you start with buy. But when you step it back that way, right? Like, so like I'll try, it's probably woman math. Some of you would say, my husband would say it's woman math. Like I told my husband the other day, I said, here's the deal. I am saving you money by buying these Christmas drinking glasses at Crate and Barrel this year, because I've wanted them for 2 years. And if I don't buy them this year, I'm going to buy them next year, and they're probably going to cost more next year. So I am saving you money by buying them this year. Right. It was like, that is woman math, Karen, but I'm saving you money. So, but think about that. Think about, like, where does the conversation start and where does it go? And what is your end game? What are you looking for? And are you halting the conversation when you start with buy? Okay. I also changed my verbiage. I used to always say, join my team. Do you want to join my team? Do you want to join my team? I don't want them to join a soccer team or my son's rugby program. I don't want them to join my sorority, right? I don't want them to join the neighborhood watch group. I want them to partner with me and partner with Scentsy and start a business. So simply changing the verbiage from, do you want to join my team, to, do you want to partner with me and do you want to partner with Scentsy, has made all the difference for me. Plus, the word partner is a little bit more of a influencer term. Like, that's pretty common in the affiliate influencer world. So that's terminology that people are familiar with, right? But I think I was confusing people, and I've said join probably for 15 years, but changing the verbiage just to partner alone, huge difference in the response I get from people. The other thing that I did, and I watched Jessie Lee. I did a 5-day Jessie Lee boot camp. If you don't know who she is, she was, I think, the #1 direct seller in the world. She passed away a few weeks ago. But I did a 5-day recruiting blitz boot camp with her back in August. And one of my biggest takeaways was that I didn't ever leave people with a call to action. I'd have a join conversation with people, but I would be like, okay, let me know if you have any questions. Well, no one ever got back to me. And then I'd go back and say, do you have any questions I can answer? So now when I'm having, and again, I want to reiterate, I don't want to pressure people to join. I want them to join because it's right for them. But now I'd say, okay, when someone asks me, I say, here's our partner options. These are our partner kits for October. We've got this option. We've got this option. And then, usually they'll ask me another question. And then I'll come back and I'll say, so are you ready to grab that kit, or are there questions I can answer for you first? Right? So are you ready to grab that kit? It's a call to action. Or are there questions I can ask you first? And if it requires an answer one way or the other. And sometimes the answer is, I'm not quite ready yet. I'll let you know if I have questions. That's totally fine. But more often than not, I get people say, yeah, I'm ready to grab that kit. How do I do so? Well, here's a link to my website here, or here, let's do the 59 party kit option, or whatever the case may be. So, but it's just a change in my verbiage, right? Are you ready to grab that kit, or are there questions I can answer for you? So, and again, then I started talking to people again, like I said, natural conversations, not forced. I used to get on an airplane, and I travel quite a bit. I used to get on an airplane and I put my AirPods in. Now, because I honestly would just want to go to sleep, right? Or listen to something audible or a podcast or whatever. Now, if the guy next to me or the person next to me wants to have a conversation, heck yeah, I'm talking to them. Right? I've got new customers from it. I've had people join from it. We're going to chat if they want to. Now, not the annoying person on the plane who chats super loud and disturbs the people around them. Not that kind of chat. But like, if they want to have a conversation, I'm here to engage in it. Melissa Gratz said that she was branded the other day in the airport coming back from H-Town Showdown, and someone, because she was branded and she had her Scentsy duffel bag or Scentsy luggage or something, someone started a conversation, and she was like, I want people to ask me. I want people to talk to me everywhere I go. I was in Cabo a couple months ago with my mom. It was her 75th birthday, and she wanted to go to Cabo. And so I said, okay, now going with your mom to Cabo when she's 75 is probably different than going to Cabo when you're like 22. So what we did was we went to the JW Marriott. It's gorgeous. And we went to the saltwater pool most of the day. And then we went back to the room and had room service on the balcony in the evening. And it was fantastic. And it was super relaxing. But I started having conversations with people in the pool, not forced conversations. When you open yourself up to talking to people again, especially after you haven't for a while, you realize people organically are communicators. They talk to people. And so there were these women who would come up and talk to us, just normal organic conversations. Oh, how are you? Oh, what are you doing here? Oh, and as time progressed, there were a few ladies who we talked with every single day, like a group of us. We just sat in the pool and we talked every day. They were from all different aspects of life. One of them is a commercial banker for Wells Fargo. One of them is an attorney, and her daughter just started her freshman year at Brown. One of them lives about 10 minutes from me. One of them recently was married for the second time to a retired professional baseball player. So we had a lot in common because her brother-in-law was like the defensive coordinator for the Broncos and the Bears. And like, we had just like really good conversation. None of these women need income. None of them were looking for something extra, but over the course of the time, Scentsy came up, and Scentsy can bless all of these women in different ways. And they all joined just by general conversation. They're also accountability partners now. And again, they all want different things out of life. Like, one, the income's great. One just wants a sense of community. One wants to travel, right? And one wants to give back, wants to use her commissions to give back to causes that she's passionate about. But I opened myself up and I had real honest conversations, just building relationships and meeting people. I didn't ask any of them to join, but they asked me how to join. So, a couple other examples. Steve, my husband, who does Scentsy full time with me, talked to the person who cuts his hair. And she was like, first of all, I can't find anyone to buy Scentsy from, but she's also interested in joining. Last weekend, well, actually 2 weekends ago, my oldest is buying his first home. And we went with him, and I had 2 conversations with 2 different realtors. One was the one showing an open house, and my husband and my son were out back doing guy things, looking like the foundation of the house and the AC unit and all the stuff that you look at. And I stayed inside, and I was talking with the lady who was showing the house for the open house, the showing agent. And we just started talking, and she asked me what I did, and I told her, talked about how we work from home and that kind of thing. And she'd never heard of Scentsy. And so my verbiage was really simple. Oh, yeah. So we do amazing closing gifts. We help stage home and do amazing closing gifts. Scentsy's fantastic. You might be interested. You know, what do you do for your closing gifts? Then the next day, it was month end. So it was not last weekend, but the weekend before, month end. And I was up till, 3 a.m. putting orders in the workstation, because that's how month end goes. And my son had said, hey, Mom, we're going to look at a few houses. He texted me at 9 a.m. and I just gotten out of bed because I went to bed at 3 a.m. And he said, do you want to come with us? And I said, sure, I'd be happy to come, but I'm looking a little rough. Like, I'm not going to take the time because he said, we're going to start looking at these in about 40 minutes. And it was about 30 minutes from where we were. I said, it's fine, but I need to leave in like 10 to 20 minutes, which means I'm going to look pretty rough. He said, I don't care. It's just us and the realtor. Fine. So I went. So I apologized to his girlfriend. I said, I'm really sorry. Don't hug me. I probably smell. I didn't get a shower. I was up till 3 a.m. And she said, she's like, I don't care, blah, blah, blah. The realtor's like, I haven't showered either. So, they were off looking at different parts of the house. And the realtor said to me, what do you do? Why were you up till 3 a.m.? I was like, oh, Scentsy. It was month end, blah, blah, blah. It's a crazy busy time in our business. She's like, what is Scentsy? Oh, you know what Scentsy is? We're an international fragrance company. Oh my gosh, I do the most amazing I curate custom closing gifts. I'd love to tell you more about it. So it's all kind of about the verbiage and just having real conversations. I had to get comfortable with sharing what I do again. So I think COVID made it kind of worse, but what I used to always say when people would ask me what I've done is I'm like, oh, I sell Scentsy. You've never heard of it? Oh, we're a direct selling company, kind of like Tupperware Pampered Chef. Now, there's nothing wrong with Tupperware Pampered Chef. I have a ton of it in my kitchen, right? Tupperware, based on kind of what they've gone through, might not be the best choice of things to say right now because of they've changed their model and that kind of thing. But again, I've got tons of Tupperware and Pampered Chef. So I changed my verbiage a while back because I kind of stumbled around. Like, how do you explain what we do? It's kind of hard. So now I say I'm a top leader in an international fragrance company, because I'm a top leader in an international fragrance company. And you guys are all consultants in an international fragrance company, right? And that piques a lot of curiosity. Oh, an international fragrance company, tell me more. Yeah. Now, you can also script the verbiage based on who your audience is. So for example, if I'm talking to a realtor, I'm a top leader in an international fragrance company, or I help realtors curate closing gifts, right? You heard me say that earlier. Or if I'm talking about fundraisers, what do? I help organizations earn money, right? Through fundraisers. Or I help parents of chronically ill children earn some extra money through social selling. So if you haven't kind of narrowed down who your niche is, it's something important to do. Like, I asked my husband last week, I said, who's our audience? Who do we sell to? And he was like, we sell to everyone. Okay, well, that might be true. And we would always take customers from anywhere. The way social media works today is if you haven't defined who your audience is, it's really going to be hard for you to get a lot of social traction. So ChatGPT, has anyone heard of it? I had not used AI before. It kind of creeped me out. I did a retreat a couple weeks ago and people were talking about it. It kind of creeps me out. My husband said it's the beginning of the end of us, right? But I want you to write this down. You don't have to do it now, but I want you to write this down. Chat GPT. Okay. And on my, I'll tell you what it is on my phone. Let me pull it up. I'll tell you what the website is or the app. You can find the app too. Yeah, just find the app. Chat GPT is the app. So what you're going to do is, you don't have to do it right now, but if you're trying to figure out who your audience is, I want you to create an I help statement. I help, H-E-L-P. So it's going to help you figure out who your audience is. So you would pull up Chat GPT or any of the AI sites, and you would hit the little microphone at the bottom. And then you would say something like, help me write an I help statement, help me write an I help statement, or help me write a mission statement. But I call it an I help statement, and it recognizes that allows me to work with. So I'm going to help me write an I help statement that allows me to work with. And then you're going to enter who you want to work with. So a couple audiences for me, and I'll give you just a couple examples. That allows me to work with blank to blank. That allows me to work with blank. So who do you want to work with to help them do what? Okay. And then I usually say something like my demographics are, and then I list exactly who that audience is. So let me give you a couple examples. Let me see if I can pull one up quick. So like if I was doing, so my husband's combat injured. So if I wanted to work with military spouses, for example, I might say, write me an I help statement that allows me to work with military, or we'll say military spouse caregivers because he's combat injured. I would say, write me an I help statement that allows me to work with military spouse caregivers of combat injured who are looking to earn some extra money to help support their family through social selling of Sensi, which is a direct selling company. So here's what it would say to me. Here's what it would spit out if I said that. I'm dedicated to empowering military spouse caregivers of combat injured veterans by offering them the opportunity to earn extra income for their families through the social selling of Sensi products, a reputable direct selling company. So it's going to spit out your I help statement. Or write me an I help statement that allows me to work with parents of chronically ill kids, because I have a chronically ill child, who need to earn some extra income to help their families by socially selling Sensi while their kids are hospitalized. And so it would spit out, here's what it spit out when I said that. I help parents of chronically ill children find flexible income opportunities through social selling of Sensi, allowing them to support their family financially while their children are hospitalized or undergoing extensive medical care. Those are two of my audiences. Those are two people that I can naturally sell to because I can relate and understand. So if you are struggling to figure out who your audience is, especially on social media, Chat GPT will help you find the answers. You just have to ask them to help you write an I help statement, and then you have to identify who you want to help. So maybe you want to help young moms so that they can stay home with their kids. They can earn some extra money selling Sensi and stay home with their kids. Or maybe you want to help single parents, or maybe you want to help college students pay for college through, but you have to say direct selling or Sensi or something. But it will really help you. And I know AI is something that's, it's something relatively new to me, but it's really helped me. A couple other things it can do, and then I'll move on, I promise. It can, you can ask it to give you write me 30 days of recipes using chicken, pork, or fish with a grocery list and a menu. Write me a menu of 30 days of dinner recipes using chicken, pork, or fish, with recipes and shopping list and a graph. And it'll in 1 second spit out 30 recipes with the shopping list. It's pretty amazing. So, and the more you use it, the more it's kind of scary. The more you use it, the better it gets. Okay. So if you're struggling to figure out who your niche is, that's a way to help you. I also went old school. I made my list of 100 again. And I know that's something that's really old school. And a lot of you are probably like, I haven't done that in however long, or I've never done that. You guys, it really makes a difference. If you are, and my list of 100 is a little different. My list is not just a 1 through 100. I have it broken down into categories: Star Wars, Harry Potter, people that like home decor, people that are active in their community, people who love to give back to charitable causes. I have it broken down into different areas, kind of going through my catalog. Now, say, for example, and I've got, say, 5 spots under each one. So say, for example, I don't know anyone who likes Star Wars. There's a really easy way to find those people. I'm going to ask on my social media something like, Star Wars people, someone convinced me why I should watch the new Mandalorian. I've never seen Star Wars before. Or something. And then the people who are going to try and sell me on Star Wars, those are my people. Their names are going on that list. Or like, I've never watched the Harry Potter movies or read the books. So I could be like, okay, Potterheads, Potter fans, tell me why I should watch this, or explain to me why Hedwig is a girl, because in my mind, owls are boys, right? Like whatever the case may be. And then the people who respond, I know those are Harry Potter people. They can go on my list. So make your list of 100. Okay. And let me just give you a couple ideas quick. I know we're pretty late on time, Debbie, but let me give you a couple ideas of conversations I've had or shifted my mindset on. Conversations where I normally would have said something like, oh, you should buy that product, or something different. So do I have time, Debbie, just to give a couple examples? Yeah. Okay. So a couple sponsoring conversations I've had recently. I had someone who messaged me. She had just bought an LTO from me and she wanted something else that was coming out. And she messaged me, Facebook message, and said, Karen, I'm going to go broke because I just bought blank and I want to buy blank. And so normally I would have said, oh, I know you should. They were actually licensed products, so hosting wouldn't have helped her. But I would have said, like, I know in this economy, blah, 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 but aren't our products amazing or something? So instead I just said, maybe you should partner with Scentsy and earn some extra money because you love our products so much and you're always buying them. And she replied back with, this is how simple it was. How much is the kit? Oh, this is how much a kit is. 20 minutes later, she joined. I had someone else who said, I really wish I could afford that. I really want it, but it's not within my budget. Before I would have said, oh, well, it's in the catalog. Let me know when it fits in your budget, or do you want to host? Instead, I said, I don't know if this is right for you. It's not right for everyone. Scentsy isn't right for everyone, but you love our product. Have you ever thought about partnering with Scentsy? And she said, I've actually thought about it, but I didn't know if I'd be any good at it. And I didn't know how to really do it. Nobody's ever asked me. Oh, well, let me tell you how to do it. Right. And if you have one of those kits, that might be a situation where that would be helpful. Right. I know there's mixed feelings on the kit, on sharing kits. Debbie is a huge advocate of it and has massive success with it. Right. Okay. So just a couple more examples. Someone else said, she just joined. She said, I'm trying to figure out how to make some extra money before I have this baby in January. And I would have said before, oh, you're so pregnant. Oh, that's awesome. What are you gonna name the baby, or whatever? Okay. So now I'm like, okay, we have a window of time to figure out how much extra money we can earn you between now and then. So let's do this. Let's start now. We're going to hit the ground running. She joined. Let's see. I had someone ask me, what if nobody buys? Do I have to like send that kit back or like pay extra because it was like a $300 value? No, absolutely not. What's the worst that happens? The worst that happens is you're going to earn some extra money on your own purchases the next 12 months, right? But you love Scentsy, and when you share what you love, people are drawn to your energy and your excitement. I've got someone who joined because her daughter's in competitive sports and she wants to use her commissions to fund the expensive sport. I have someone who joined because they're passionate about a rescue and they want to use their commissions for continued fundraising for the organization. I pretty much changed my mindset and I refuse to close a party without a host. And if the host isn't a good fit, that's okay. I've got a list of people who are, and I can ask the host also, hey, who do you think would be a good fit? It's fine if you don't want to join, but who do you think would be a good fit? Or if you don't even ask them, if you say, hey, I've got this kit up for grabs, who do you think in your party would be a good fit? Often they'll say, well, what about me? You don't think I'd be good? Oh, no, I think you'd be great. I just didn't know if you were interested, right? Now, what do you do with those people who, join as hobbyists and you are aren't sure they want to do anything with the business? That's fine. What I like to say to them is, I know that you are just doing this to earn a little, off your own purchases, but will you partner with me between now and Christmas? Let's see how much extra holiday money we can earn you between now and then. And pretty much people don't say no, because if they can have a chance to earn some extra money, Becca Levi used to say, just partner with me for 6 months, commit to 6 months with me, and then let's see what happens. So I think we overthink it. People say, I don't know that many people. Yes, you do. And if you don't, you need to get out there and meet new people. And there's nothing wrong with that. We all start somewhere. I talk to everyone, but not in a spammy way. I don't cold message or spam anyone. I watch and I intentionally share when the time is right. I tell people why I think this would be a good fit for them, right? It's about them, not you, Tiny. It's about them, not you. I don't ever want to pressure anyone to join, but I don't ever want someone not to join because I didn't ask them either. It's a mistake if you don't ask them. If they don't join under you, if you don't ask them, you're going to be really sad when they join under someone else. And I've seen that happen time and time again. So not everyone does something with this business, and that's okay. It's a numbers game, and we need everyone in our organization. We need hobbyists. We need people that just love the product. We need business builders. We need everything. And you need them in your organization. Sometimes our hobbyists are the most loyal Scentsy lovers out there. All right. So my challenge to you is this. I want you to connect with 3 people tomorrow. 3 people. Organic, real conversations with people. Now, you're like, who am I going to talk to? Maybe you are just going to naturally connect with someone on social media. Maybe you are just going to, hey, I saw your daughter this. That's awesome. Congratulations. Oh, I saw your birthday was last weekend. That's awesome. Whatever the case may be, real connections. But if you've got those people that in the back of your head you think should be doing this, I want those to be the people you connect with. And I want you to reach out to them and I want to say, I was thinking about you, or some authentic variation of this that works for you. Listen, I've been thinking about you. I don't know if this is the right fit for you, but I think you'd be great at this. And here's why. I can't stop thinking about it. I think you'd be great about this. Why? Make it authentic and organically you. But if you've got that seed in your head that you think someone would be good at this and you don't reach out to them, then you're never going to know. And someone told me the other day, they joined under someone else. Well, why did they do that? Because the person hadn't asked them. So, all right. So I know that was a lot of information. I appreciate you giving me the floor tonight and letting me share some of my story. I can tell you that no matter where you are in this business today, you can change it tomorrow. It's up to you to do that though. Thanks, Debbie, for letting me share.
Oh my gosh, this call was everything. And I am such a squirrel, but you kept my attention just like you did on that other call. So do you have time to answer any questions? I'm sure if anybody wants to unmute and ask Karen some questions because she is so amazing.
Yeah. You won't
Anybody?
You won't hurt my feelings if you don't have questions. Thanks, DPP, for dropping the income disclosure statement. You guys, I really do want to tell you that though. This business has really blessed our family. Like, if I can just give you like the testimony of that, like the financial freedom it's given us is significant, right? Significant. But more important than that is the time freedom and the location freedom. Being able to spend as much time, like my dad was in the hospital oh gosh, I think either 36 or 46 days before he passed away. And I was able to get on a plane and spend every minute of that with him, from the time visiting hours opened to the time they kicked us out in the evening until he was like on hospice. Like, that time for me is something so precious. And without this business, I couldn't have done that, because I could work from anywhere. When he was napping, I could do what I needed to do in the hospital, right? When my son needs medical care or has a brain surgery, I can work from the hospital. I can work from anywhere. So the time freedom and the location freedom is so incredible. My kids, I told you my kids now are 26, 22, and Luke just turned 18 last weekend, but they were 11, 7, and 3, I think I said. I joined in 2008. I don't think they remember my husband going to combat. They remember him being combat injured. They remember that kind of thing. But really, my kids' recollection is 2 work from home parents, because since 2012, we've worked together since full time, since my husband retired from the military. And that's like everyone else is like, oh, COVID, we're working from home. That's what my kids knew. My kids didn't know parents that had to ask for time off to take them to the doctor, or to go to watch their soccer games, or to do whatever they needed to do. And so that has been such a blessing for our family, more probably than the financial freedom, right? So let's see.
Hey, Karen, when you mentioned that, since we have the income disclosure here, do you mind sharing that amount? What
How
is the
much
most you ever made? I mean, I know that
I
adjusted in
won't
every
tell you
way.
that. I won't tell you that. And there's a whole bunch of reasons, but I will tell you, I have not made $1 million in a year, but that is my next goal.
Oh, you have not made $1 million, so it sounds like
No,
you've been
no.
there.
I have not made $1 million in 1 year. I've made many millions in this business. I don't know if I'm not sure. Hold on. I'll tell you, I can give you. I have not made 1 million in 1 year yet. That is my goal for the next 12 months, is to have 1 million in commission in 1 year. So,
That's
and
amazing.
that was like, and I don't really talk money. That's not usually what I do, but I actually made that goal a couple weeks ago. I was doing some coaching with Fraser Brooks. I don't know, with his organization. And it was his brother Corbin. And he said to me, so if you could wait, here's what he said. If you could wave a magic wand and be anywhere you wanted in your business in 12 months, where would it be? And I had to really stop and think, because, I've been a superstar. So I joined in 2008. I hit director in 3 months, star director in 12, and superstar director 18 months from when I joined. I've always been paid a title. We've been so blessed financially. And I really like there aren't a lot of personal milestones that I haven't hit. I've earned all the incentive trips. I've done all those things. Circle of Excellence is probably, the only Sensi milestone I haven't hit yet, right? I'm working really hard towards it. But I kind of stopped. I was like, money doesn't really motivate me like it used to. Money is fantastic, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't motivate me like it used to. And so I was kind of like, what's my goal? And then I thought, that's 1 million in 1 year is a milestone I have not reached. Did not hit it during COVID. And so I thought, that's my goal. I'm very type A, Enneagram 8. I'm very driven. But then he said, what's that going to do for you? And that's where he stopped me. I was like, what's that going to do for me? Because we travel, we have financial freedom. I'm able to, when my mom moved, after my dad passed away, it's probably way more information than you want, but when my dad passed away, and it wasn't that my mom couldn't afford it, but we had to move her out of her home. It just didn't work for her with her mobility. She needed to move for some time. And so we found a short-term solution for her, but my dad was a smoker, and we were moving her into an apartment, like a 2-bedroom, a really nice apartment, like not an inexpensive one, a really nice one. But she couldn't take her furniture with, because my dad was a smoker and the house smelled like smoke, and she couldn't take that into a rental. And so I was able to insert income disclosure statement. My mom is totally grieving, and I'm like basically like, okay, mom, we need a couple mattresses. I ordered that. Okay, mom, we need furniture. Ordered all, all the things that she needed. Like my mom, like I have an Opal ice maker. I don't know if you guys know what that is. It's this bougie ice maker. It's amazing. I live for it. It's wonderful. It's like Sonic ice. Do any of you guys have Sonic by you? Okay. It's like that little pebble ice. It was like my big splurge during COVID. I bought this Opal ice maker. Okay. But I will say, yes, exactly. Okay. So the ice is just like that. Is that not the best ice ever? Like, honestly, it's the best ice ever. I have completely increased my water intake. I've probably quadrupled my water intake since I got this Opal ice maker, but it's an expensive ice maker. Like, it's absurd what it costs. My mom commented one day, she's grieving. She's like, I love your ice maker. Okay, click, order $600 ice maker for my mom, deliver to my mom's like, she's like, oh, I need a vacuum. Okay, let's order a Roomba. Like, gave me so much satisfaction to know that whatever my mom needed, I could literally, and my mom is not financially unstable, right? But in our time of grieving, I was able to get her everything she needed so she could not worry about anything else, right? She would say, and she lives in Illinois, I live in Colorado. She would say, Karen, I'm really struggling with this. I would get on a plane and I would go, right? That's the kind of freedom this business has given me. And so, so I've really struggled trying to figure out what my next goal is, right? But I finally decided I locked it in, because if I were to make $1 million next year, there's a lot of good I could do. There's a lot of good I could do for others. There's a lot of, we've got some charitable giving we would like to do. We'd like to establish a foundation. There are a lot of things that we would like to do. And so that's the kind of thing that drives me now, right? That's the kind of thing. I remember when I joined, and this is probably why it gives me so much satisfaction to be able to do that kind of thing for my mom. The year that I joined, my husband was active duty military. He was enlisted military, and our money was incredibly tight, like incredibly tight. Like, they go to combat, like, oh, he was in Iraq, and that was a blessing for us, because as scary as it was, and he was injured, he got combat pay, so he got extra money every month, right? And he was tax exempt when he was in combat. So those 3 tours to Iraq were actually a financial blessing to our family. But the year I joined, my mom came for Christmas, and she said, Karen, you have to buy a new dryer. She said, you're going to catch your house on fire. Our money was so tight that I couldn't afford a dryer. And so I don't know why, it's totally emotional. And so my mom for Christmas that year bought me a new washer and dryer. So Scentsy has totally changed everything for us. So the fact that I could like repay that and whatever she needed when she was going through everything, and I could just, without thinking, sure, mom, let's get this. I mean, she didn't even say like, oh, Karen, she never said, would you buy me anything? But I just knew that it took things off of her plate to be like, okay, she needs 2 mattresses. Let's get online and let's order them. Like, she needs this. Let's get online. Let's order it. It was just a huge blessing to be able to do those things to relieve that kind of added burden from her. And I know Debbie understands, because I know all the things you've done for your mom, right? It's like, what goes around comes around, right? So that's the kind of thing that drives me. So I know that if I were to have $1 million year next year, there is so much good in this world I could do with it. I mean, now, granted, we have some other personal financial goals, but I've put 2 of my 3 kids through college, private educations, Duke University. It's not inexpensive, like $80,000 a year expensive. My daughter's finishing her master's at a private university in Southern California in San Diego. The cost of her rent every month is more than the house payment for a lot of people, because it's Southern California. So like, this business has blessed us in huge ways financially. But I know there's so much good that I could do if I hit that milestone. So that was probably way more information than you wanted though, huh? So.
This is incredible. Oh my gosh. It's like we don't even want to go. Like this is just I mean, it's just so great. The information is like everything. And for you to share all of the things that
Yeah.
you've gone through personally with us is such a blessing.
Yeah.
And as we speak now, Mama is in the hospital, so I got to be there first thing in the morning.
Yep.
My uncle went tonight, but it's the time freedom
Yep,
that I
it
mean,
is.
I stepped away from well, I lost my job 2 years ago, but I can't see myself going back somewhere else to have to ask for time off. That's huge, Karen. That's what
Yeah.
we have a lot in common there. And Cincy is truly a blessing and
Oh,
not a
huge
burden.
blessing, a huge blessing. And we literally we can work from anywhere, right? And on our schedule when we need to. And our customers come through, right? They know. I mean, I don't even have to post when Luke's in the hospital having brain surgery. It's just funny. Orders just kind of, whatever, you attract what you need at the right time, right? But I really do think mindset's really critical to that. And I know, Debbie, I know you have that mindset too, right? Like it's all a blessing. It's all such a blessing. So yeah. Someone asked about my education. I did go to college. My kids, with their master's degrees are more educated than I am though. I do not have a master's degree. So
I'm glad you shared that about your kids in college because my daughter's in dental school right now and she received a college scholarship, right? And dental school is very expensive, and I
Oh, yeah.
thank God for Cincy for that. So
Yeah.
yes, we're
Yep.
experiencing that now.
Yep. Almost 2 down, 1 to go. Lauren's got 1 more semester. She'll have her master's. Logan is done unless he goes back for a PhD. But like I told them, like the gift of their education was a gift from me. Like I didn't want them to graduate with so much student debt, because that'll just bury people sometimes. And so that was our gift to them. But I did tell them if they go to, PhD is usually funded, but I told them if they go back if they want that doctorate by their name, that's on them. So, yeah. But I did in fact, I reminded my son the other day, who's, see my dog, she wants to go upstairs. I reminded my son the other day, I said, I paid for that education and I would like to go to a really nice nursing home someday, preferably one with an ocean view, right? I'm like, so, but yes. Awesome. I would like to encourage you guys all, please keep showing up. Debbie puts a lot of time and effort into these. Bring your Scentsy besties with you to show up on them. As a leader, it's a lot of work putting together this kind of thing. And she really invests in you guys. And it really does make a difference in your business. Community connection, collaboration, all that. When you show up, it really does make a difference. If you haven't registered for World Tour, I can't stress to you enough. Even if you have to drive a distance to it, it is so, so worth it. So I have a feeling if you're on the Zoom, you're probably someone that shows up anyways, but encourage you to bring someone with you to the next Zoom, all that kind of thing. So thank you guys.
This is fire. Oh my gosh, I'm just like, oh my goodness. So this is total fire. And you just so happen to be our first guest speaker because we started this a few months ago. It's our connection call, just a way for us to get to know each other. So I thought after hearing you last Thursday, I said, oh, we just got to have Karen on. And I'm just so grateful that you were available to come and share all the golden nuggets with us, because this is huge for us, especially with the recruiting, because we have some, they hear me all the time. So, I speak recruiting all the time. That's part of my language. And I'm with you that join, host, and buy. That's what I do in that same order. I've always done it. But they just have to hear from somebody else sometimes. I'll get tired of hearing it from me.
It's true. Like I could tell my people something, Debbie, and it's like your kids, right? So like you could tell your kids something and then their aunt tells them something and they're like, oh, Aunt Dina told me this, right? I told you that 10 times, right? But they're like, oh, Aunt Dina told me the coolest thing, right? Or like, and you guys, I don't know if you guys realize this, because you're surrounded by Debbie, right? Like, but do you guys realize what a Scentsy icon she is? Like, seriously, do you realize she is a go-to in this company for sponsoring? Like, she is a go-to for mindset and motivation and inspiration and all the things, right? She is incredible. So in fact, Steve said to me, like, I was playing your voice message the other day when you asked me if I'd speak, and he's like, "Ooh, DPP asked you to speak." I'm like, so you guys really, really are blessed. What you have in your family, in your Scentsy family, is amazing. So, like, really, really.
Oh, thank you
soaking
so much for
everything
that.
she says,
I'm gonna
it is
relax.
it is fire. So
Thank you
yeah.
for all of that. Thank you.
Yes.
That's what I love about this community, because we help each other and we're not charging for this.
Yep.
We pour into each other and we do it free, you know? That is like so amazing.
Yep. It is there is plenty of room at the top of this company, and there's no reason any of you can't get there. Like, Debbie is amazing. I've done this a long time and been at the top of the company, but there is nothing that she and I do that you guys can't do. There's nothing, right? If you want it and you work for it and you're consistent and you show up and you're driven and you're dedicated, and most importantly, you don't quit, there's no reason we can't pull a chair up for you at the SST table. There's no reason at all. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox now.
Well, we love you so much, Karen. Anybody else got anything else you want to ask? I mean, before we close it out, because we want to respect your time, but this is gold. Oh my gosh. I can't say it enough.
Oh,
I know they all enjoy it.
Jamie wants to know, how do you keep from getting discouraged about recruiting? It's literally a numbers game, right? Everyone you talk to is not going to join. You just have to keep talking to them. And find new people. It is really about just meeting people and being positive. But if you are discouraged, you got to work on that mindset, because the more frustrated you get, the harder your sponsoring will become. Like, it then becomes work. Sometimes I think we try too hard, but the harder you try and the more frustrated you get, the harder it becomes. So you just have to stop, pause, readjust your sail, talk to yourself in the mirror, remind yourself that you're pretty awesome. People want to join under you, right? And that sponsoring comes easy to you. And then get out there and meet new people. There's no secret sauce to it. It's just getting out there and meeting new people. So. What's a list of 100? A list of 100 is just 100 people you know who might be interested in buying or joining, right? Buying, hosting, or joining. It's 100 people. I break mine up into categories. I can drop. I'll message it to Debbie, my latest version. It's broken up into categories. Actually, I think it might have more than 100 on there actually, but it's like the latest. You can just do a straight list of 100. You just start listing people you know, right? But I find it's easier for me if I break them up into categories like Star Wars, Harry Potter, people who are passionate about causes, so they might be interested in fundraising, people who know everyone. Like, do you guys know someone who knows everyone? Right? That person would be great for Scentsy, right? It's a bunch of different categories, and you're going to put like 5 people in each list. So, and you just keep adding to it. You just keep, the more people you meet, the more people you talk to, you just keep adding to it. It's an evolving list. And Debbie probably has some version of it too, but I'll kick over what I have.
Your Google Home isn't set up yet. To get
There's a memory jogger that I just got from Eric after listening to him. He
Oh,
calls it a
that's so
memory
good.
jogger. And I
That's so
Googled
good. I
that.
saw that. Yes.
I Googled that.
Yeah, that's so good. That's probably better than my list of 100. I saw that. Did you post that today? I saw that posted today. Yeah, that was
I posted
fantastic.
it the other day. Yeah.
Yeah, that was fantastic. So.
So guys, looks like we are past the top of the hour. And Karen, we thank you so much for
Yeah, of
bringing
course.
all of the awesomeness to us. And we just like so excited. We don't even want to hang up, but we know we need to. But we know that your time is so valuable. We just want to say thank you for joining us and bringing all the things to us, because I've taken a lot of notes. I've been taking a lot of, I'm going to implement these things that you share, even though we never can get too much knowledge, because even though this is an area that I love most, but there's still things that I need to sharpen so I can be able to teach it, duplicate it. That's so important, to duplicate what we know. But once again, I'm here, Karen. So when you need me, let me know when you need me.
I'm gonna take you up on that, right?
Yes. That's what we do. We pay it forward, right?
That's right. But iron sharpens iron, right? So that's how we get better, right? So absolutely.
Absolutely. So
Thank
good
you.
night, guys. And thank you so much, Karen. We love
Yep.
you. And thank you guys for joining us tonight. And
Thank you.
we'll see you later. Good night, guys.